Dear readers, who told you that you couldn't, who whispered doubt into your soul and made you believe that you were anything less than extraordinary? Was it the world? Was it your past? Was it the quiet, relentless voice in your own mind, echoing with fears, with insecurities, with the weight of limitations that were never yours to carry? We are born into this world with fire in our hearts, with infinite potential in our veins, with dreams as vast as the sky. And yet, somewhere along the way, we learn to shrink. We are told to fit inside the lines, to color within the boundaries, to be realistic, to be practical, to know our place. We are taught, by those who have long abandoned their own ambitions, that we must do the same. But I ask you, who says you can't? Who gave them the authority to decide your fate? Who crowned them the keeper of your destiny? Who told them they had the power to say what is possible for you? Let me tell you something, they were wrong. And this, my friends, is the moment you reclaim your power. This is the moment you look at every doubt, every fear, every hesitation that has ever held you back, and you crush it beneath the weight of your own determination. Because this life, it is yours. Your dreams, yours. Your success, yours to create. And who says you can't? You do. Daniel Chidiac does not give you permission because you never needed it. What he gives you is the map to your own greatness, the blueprint to shatter the ceilings that were never real to begin with. He hands you the tools to rewrite your story, to redefine your potential, to awaken the power that has always been inside you. So I ask you now, not as a mere listener, but as a warrior standing at the edge of transformation, will you rise? Will you rise above the doubts, the fears, the expectations of others? Will you step into the fullness of your power? Will you take hold of your life and declare, once and for all, I can, I will, I must, because the only person who ever needed to say yes to your dreams is you. And that journey begins now. Part 1. The Awakening. Introduction. My friends, today is the day. Not just another ordinary day. Not just another 24 hours passing by like sand slipping through your fingers. No. Today is the day you wake up. Wake up from the illusions that have kept you bound. Wake up from the stories you've told yourself. Wake up from the belief that your potential has limits. Because let me tell you something that will shake you to your core. The only thing standing between you and the life you desire is you. Not your past. Not your circumstances. Not the doubters, the haters, or the ones who walked away. It is you, your mind, your beliefs, your willingness to claim your power. And in who says you can't? You do. Daniel Chidiac grabs you by the shoulders and forces you to see the truth. You are the creator of your destiny. You are the architect of your dreams. You are the one who must rise, must fight, must take hold of the life you were meant to live. And it all begins with awakening. Chapter 1. The Lies That Have Blinded You. Since childhood, we have been fed stories. Stories about what is possible. Stories about what we deserve. Stories about who we are. We hear them from our parents, our teachers, society itself. We are told what we should do, what we must do, what we cannot do. And over time, we believe them. We start to think, I'm not smart enough. I'm not talented enough. People like me don't succeed. But let me ask you something. Who wrote those rules? Who decided what you were capable of? Who put those chains around your potential? Because I promise you this, it wasn't you. And if it wasn't you, then you have the power to break free. Chapter 2. The Power of Self-Reflection. To change your life, you must first understand it. You must become an investigator, a detective searching for the root of your beliefs. Why do you think the way you do? Why do you act the way you act? What subconscious patterns have been running your life on autopilot? Because let me tell you, the greatest prisons are not made of steel and concrete. They are made of thought. A person who believes they are powerless will never attempt to fight. A person who believes they are unworthy will never reach for more. A person who believes they are doomed to fail will never take the first step. But here's the beauty of the mind. If you created the cage, then you can break it. And when you do, you will taste a freedom you have never known. Chapter 3. The fear that holds you back.
Ah, fear.
That silent whisper. That invisible hand pulling you back just as you're about to leap. It tells you, stay safe. Don't take risks. You might fail. And so we listen. We stay in jobs we hate. We settle for relationships that drain us. We convince ourselves that this is just the way life is. But let me ask you this. Is that really living? Or is it just existing? Because fear is not the enemy. Fear is the signpost. Fear is the thing standing between you and the life you were meant to live. And the moment you stop running from it, the moment you face it head-on, it loses its power over you. Chapter 4. The decision that changes everything. And so, my friends, we arrive at the crossroads. The place where you must choose. Do you continue down the same road, living by the limits others have placed on you? Do you keep telling yourself the same tired stories about why you can't? Or do you rise? Do you take the pen and rewrite the narrative of your life? Because, make no mistake, this is a decision. And the greatest lie ever told is that you don't have a choice. But you do. You always have. And now, my friends, as we close part 1, I leave you with this. Who says you can't? You do. The only question that remains is, what will you choose? Part 2. Breaking the chains. Chapter 5. Destroying the illusion of fear.
Ah, fear.
We spoke of it before, but now we must face it. Because fear is not real. Let me say that again. Fear is not real. Fear is an illusion, crafted in the darkest corners of your mind. Fear is a phantom, whispering in your ear, warning you of things that do not exist. How many dreams have died at the hands of fear? How many times have you hesitated because of what might happen? The truth is, most of what you fear never happens. And even when it does, you survive. So tell me, why should fear control you? It shouldn't. But to break free, you must face it. You must run toward the very thing you've spent your life avoiding. Because once you do, once you stand before fear and refuse to bow, you will watch it crumble. And what lies beyond fear? Freedom. Chapter 6. Reprogramming the mind. My friends, listen closely. You have been programmed. From the moment you were born, society, family, and experience have written a script in your mind. A script that tells you who you are, what you can achieve, and how the world works. But what if I told you that script is a lie? What if I told you that everything you believe about yourself, your worth, your abilities, your destiny, was written by someone else? And if someone else wrote it, then you can rewrite it. This is where transformation happens. This is where you break the chains. This is where you reclaim your mind. Because, my friends, let me be clear, your mind is your greatest weapon. And when you take control of it, when you rewrite the beliefs that have held you back, there is nothing you cannot do. So, I ask you, what do you believe about yourself? And more importantly, is it time to believe something greater? Chapter 7. Eliminating toxic influences. Ah, this one will be difficult. Because breaking free is not just about changing yourself. It is about changing your environment. Look around you. Who do you spend your time with? What voices fill your mind? What influences shape your thoughts? Because here is a truth many are afraid to face. Not everyone in your life is meant to stay. There are people who will drain you. There are people who will discourage you. There are people who will laugh at your dreams and call you foolish for believing in yourself. And these people must go. Yes, it will be painful. Yes, it will be difficult. But your future depends on it. Because, my friends, let me tell you something powerful. Your environment will determine your destiny. So take a hard look at the people, the habits, the influences in your life. And if they do not serve your growth, if they do not lift you higher, let them go. Chapter 8. The Art of Taking Action. And now, we come to the moment of truth. Because knowledge without action is worthless. You can read all the books. You can listen to all the speeches. You can dream, visualize, and plan. But if you do not act, nothing will change. So, my friends, hear me loud and clear. It is time to move. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when you feel ready.
Now.
Because let me tell you something about success. It does not wait for you. It does not knock politely on your door and ask if you're ready. It rewards those who take action. It belongs to those who move forward, even when they are afraid.
So stop waiting.
Take the first step, because the life you want is not waiting on luck. It is waiting on you. Part 3. Building the Life You Deserve. Chapter 9. The Foundation of Self-Belief. Listen to me and listen well. Nothing you build will stand if you do not believe in yourself. You can have the most brilliant ideas. You can have the best strategies. You can have opportunities knocking at your door. But if, deep down, you do not believe you are worthy of success, you will sabotage it. Yes, you will. You will second-guess yourself. You will hesitate. You will let self-doubt seep in like a poison, and before you know it, you will be back where you started. But not this time, because now you know the truth. You are worthy. You are capable. You are enough. Say it out loud. I am worthy. I am capable. I am enough. Not tomorrow. Not when you achieve success.
Now.
Because belief is not a reward you earn. Belief is the foundation on which you build. And with that foundation strong, we move forward. Chapter 10. Crafting a vision so powerful it pulls you forward. Let me ask you a question. What do you want? Not what society tells you to want. Not what others expect of you. Not what is realistic.
What do you want?
Because if you do not know where you are going, if you do not have a vision that ignites your soul, if you do not have a reason to wake up every morning with fire in your heart, you will drift. And drifting, my friends, is the enemy of greatness. So take a moment. Close your eyes.
See it.
Feel it. The life you desire. The impact you want to make. The version of you who has stepped into their full potential. Because once your vision is clear, once your purpose is set in stone, nothing will stop you. Chapter 11. Developing the Habits of the Unstoppable. Now we arrive at the difference between success and failure. Habits. Because let me tell you a secret. Success is not a single moment. Success is a system. It is not about motivation. It is not about luck. It is about what you do, day in and day out, when no one is watching. Because greatness is not built in grand, dramatic gestures. It is built in the small, consistent actions that shape who you become. So, I ask you, what are your daily habits? Do they serve your vision? Do they push you forward? Do they bring you closer to the life you want? Or do they keep you stuck? If you want to change your life, if you want to become unstoppable, if you want to rise to a level you never thought possible, start with your habits. Because you do not become great all at once. You become great one habit at a time. Chapter 12. Mastering the Art of Resilience. Now, my friends, we must address the final piece. Because even with self-belief, even with vision, even with unstoppable habits, you will fall, you will fail, you will be knocked down, you will face rejection, setbacks, and disappointments. And in that moment, when the world seems against you, when doubt creeps back in, when you feel like giving up, that is when you must remember one thing. You are not done until you decide you are done. Because let me tell you something about the greats. They were not the ones who had it easy. They were not the ones who never struggled. They were the ones who refused to stay down. When life pushed, they pushed harder. When they fell, they got up. When the world doubted them, they kept going. And if you do the same, there is nothing you cannot achieve. Part 4. Creating a legacy beyond yourself. A great order summary. The final transformation. Chapter 13. The Power of Contribution. Listen to me closely. The greatest joy you will ever experience in life is not from material wealth. It is not from external validation. It is not even from reaching your goals. It is from making a difference. Think about the moments in your life that truly meant something. The moments that made you feel alive. The moments that gave you purpose. Did they come from money? Did they come from status?
No.
They came from connection. They came from giving. They came from knowing that you had an impact on someone's life. And this is the final secret of success. The more you give, the more you grow. Because a life of purpose is a life of service. So, ask yourself, how can you contribute? How can you use your talents, your wisdom, your strength to lift others? How can you take everything you have learned and become a force for good? Because the moment you shift from what can I get to what can I give, your life will change forever. Chapter 14. The Art of Leadership. Now, let's talk about something important. Because once you step into your power, once you rise above the ordinary, once you build a life of meaning, you become a leader. Whether you realize it or not, people are watching you. They are looking to you for guidance. They are searching for an example to follow. And the question is, what kind of leader will you be? Because leadership is not about control. It is not about titles. It is not about being above others. It is about lifting others up. It is about inspiring by example. It is about empowering people to become the best versions of themselves. It is about walking the path so others can see what is possible. So, I ask you today, will you rise as a leader? Will you be the person who steps forward when others hesitate? Will you be the one who shows courage when fear is everywhere? Will you be the one who reminds people of their own power when they have forgotten? Because if you do, you will not just change your life. You will change lives. Chapter 15. Building a Legacy That Lasts. There is one final question we must answer. How will you be remembered? Not for your wealth, not for your possessions, not for the job you had or the house you lived in, but for the impact you made, for the lives you touched,
For the example you set.
because at the end of your journey, when all is said and done, when you look back on the path you walked, it will not be your achievements that matter most. It will be the difference you made in the world. And that, my friends, is the final step of transformation. Because true success is not about you. It is about the people you lift up. It is about the love you give. It is about the legacy you leave behind. So, I ask you, what will your legacy be? The final awakening, your moment of truth. Ladies and gentlemen, dreamers, warriors, and architects of your own destiny. This is it. This is the moment everything changes. You have walked through the fire. You have broken the chains of doubt. You have stepped into the power that was always within you. And now the final choice, stands before you. Will you shrink back into the shadows of fear? Will you let the voices of doubt reclaim their hold? Will you allow life to happen to you, instead of seizing it with both hands?
No.
Because you are no longer the person you once were.
You are no longer shackled by the past.
You are no longer held back by excuses. You have seen the truth. You have felt your power. You have become unstoppable. And now you must rise. You must step forward, not just as someone who hopes for a better life, not just as someone who wishes for success, but as someone who creates it. Because you are no longer waiting for permission. You are no longer waiting for the perfect moment. You are no longer waiting for someone else to believe in you. You believe in yourself. And that, my friends, is the greatest power of all. So take this moment. Take this energy. Take everything you have learned and go into the world, not as someone who is trying, but as someone who has already decided. You are ready. You are capable. You are powerful beyond measure. So the next time you face resistance, the next time someone tells you it's impossible, the next time your own mind whispers, maybe I can't, stand tall.
Take a deep breath.
And roar with unshakable certainty. Who says I can't? You do. And then, go prove it. Thanks for listening to BookBuzz Reviews and Summaries.